everybody, it's your girl Sophie Sof back here on Sofia's Football Talk to talk all things Champions League as we're going to be, of course, um, heading into the semifinal. First leg, by the way, of the semifinals, this time between Arsenal, PSG, and then Inter, or I should say Barca and Inter. And there's some cracking games, and I'm very much excited to talk about these games. I mean, it's already less than an hour until the Arsenal PSG game will kick off, so you might, even get to kind of look at maybe potential lineups and all that. But yeah, and we'll do the predictions as we go, at least for the first leg, maybe even overall of who I think will go through. And then maybe my opinion might have changed once we get into the second leg next week. So before we talk about all of that, make sure you like this video here and join this Sophia's Football Talk membership. Link is in the description box. It's another way to help support the channel's growth, the community, and yeah, link is in the description box, but also pinned in the chat. So let's talk about the first game. Arsenal versus PSG. I mean, they already met each other in one of the league phase games earlier this season where Arsenal did win. Um, so, that was 2-0 to Arsenal at the Emirates. That was actually October 1st, so a couple of months ago since then. And to be fair, this is a very much different PSG team that Arsenal will be facing. This PSG team ain't no mugs. They have a Ousmane Dembele who's in incredible form ever since, the new year hit. And I believe he scored the most goals in 2025, actually, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, he killing it. You got Kvaratskhelia that they bought in the January window as well. Due doing well, with João Neves, who they got this past summer after Ugarte left. And Vitina, we know, like that midfield is cooking. That midfield is midfielding. And with João Mendes, or I should say Nuno Mendes actually, who ended up with renewing his contract this past summer as well. We've been cooking. We've been cooking. So they got some ballers. They got some ballers. Even though Kylian Mbappe left, they've been doing quite well for themselves. They've been, trying to step away from what they've been doing over the years with buying the best talents or the world class players, the big heavy hitters, and actually trying to be like, you know what? Let's actually make stars. Let's try to make something and potentially bank on getting some young French talents and maybe other talents out, in and around Europe as well, and even outside, but doing something different, going back to the roots. And so far, so good. It's turned out well. They're playing some good football, but against Aston Villa in that second leg, Villa was not far away from advancing and doing the unthinkable, you know, getting and making sure that PSG will be knocked out. This is tie here where none of these I was about to say nations, none of these teams have ever won the Champions League. It's mad, especially when you think about Arsenal, the stature of a club such as Arsenal, never won a Champions League, not even Europa League. Sometimes, even as a United fan, I do find that quite mad. I'll laugh at him. I will. I will always make them remember that they've never won a Champions League. And I got already three. You know what I'm saying? They will always hear that. But hey, what they did to a Real Madrid in the last round was quite amazing. Comfortable home and away. And they'll probably fancy their chances against PSG, but they are without a Thomas Partey who did get suspended against Real Madrid. So they kind of have to change it up a little bit. We'll have to see what they do. I believe that the team news should be, yep, it is out actually. We will talk about that very shortly, but I think this is going to be a cracking game. I hope for the neutral. I just want this to be an exciting game, and I beg that PSG deals with Arsenal. Okay, I don't want Arsenal to win the Champions League. I want them to still be in the gutter. I don't give a damn. Are you mad? We can't be having Liverpool win, equaling our league tally in terms of trophies, and then suddenly Arsenal win the Champions League and we leave with nothing. Heck, have Spurs win the the Europa League. Nah. I will then hide my head like an ostrich in the sand. I will leave the face of the earth and go up to the moon and stay there with the Galdem, because ain't no way I'm going to be sticking around to see all this happening. No, no bueno. That's not going to be the case whatsoever. So people, let's just make sure and hope that PSG get the job done. But hey, it ain't gonna be easy. It can go all the way. It can go any way. Arsenal could win it. PSG could win it. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the chat before we quickly look at the lineup, and then I'll get to kind of get a little bit of feel. But I'm really excited about the game though. As a neutral, I just love Champions League, and I want Man United. I beg Man United to win the Europa League so I can get back and hear the champions. I want to hear that again. I miss hearing the Champions League anthem. Okay, I don't want to hear, oh, I don't want to hear all of that. No, thank you. No, it doesn't slap. It's just, it's so forced when they, do this camera, like slowly go past each and every player, filming them. You see the little mascots there, and you hear the Europa League anthem. It doesn't hit. It doesn't hit. Especially when you have the same anthem also for Conference League. That's when you know Conference League. People haven't watched a single game in Conference League. I couldn't give a damn about Conference League. I'll watch the final once we get there, 100%. Once the final is here. But Europa League, because my team is here, I'll watch it, of course. And especially, even though, to be fair, there's more interesting games there than you have in the Conference League, regardless. But what I will say, before I went on a little bit of tangent here, it's going to be, I think this game is going to be maybe a game for the ages. A game that will look back and be like, damn, remember that night. Remember those games. Remember. Hopefully. But I need PSG to slap up Arsenal. It won't happen, but you never know. Big up Roderick. Big up Eddie. Make sure you do subscribe to my broski Eddie's Football Waffle. Commiseration to your Inter, by the way. I watched your last game. If Inter there, thing is though, I'm gonna Inter. I'll talk about Inter later in the stream. We will talk about it. We will talk. Pick up Noah. Pick up Casper. Yes, smash the likes indeed. Close PSG win, says Eddie. I hope I'm wrong, but I think this is United done as a Champions League contender for now. We'll talk about Man United tomorrow for the preview for the Athletic Bilbao game. We'll talk about it tomorrow. I don't even want to focus on United now. But let's look at the lineup. So for Arsenal, you got David Raya in goal, Timber as that right wing back, or not wing back, right back. Lewis Kelly as the left wing back. Saliba, Kivior, Rice, Merino in the midfield. Saka, of course, on the right-hand side. Martinelli on the left. And Trossard up top. Interesting. The thing is, though, it's been working having Merino up top, though. So not having him up top, it'll be very like, okay, fascinating to see how that's gonna work, having him in midfield alongside of Rice and Erdogan. So is Rice gonna be sitting 6, Merino 8, and Erdogan the 10? Is that what we're gonna do? Probably. Or maybe Merino is the 10. Maybe. or both of them are eights. The good Emerino. I don't know, but it's a 4-3-3 as things stands, and it'll be very interesting for sure. And like seeing how will Timber and Lewis Skelly deal with Kvaratskhelia and Due, as well as Dembele up top. And Dembele kind of drifts as well on the right hand side. Shoots with both foots. There's no weak left or strong foot. Both of them are hella good. Excuse me. Yeah. And then with the PSG, you got Donnarumma, Hakimi on the right, Mendes on the left, Pacho, Marquinhos. Marquinhos back actually. Big up to him. Fabio Ruiz, Vitinha, and João Neves. As I said, that proper midfield. It's a strong team though. Kvaratskhelia on the left, Desiree Doué on the right, and Ousmane Dembele up top. And yeah, this is gonna be quite a tasty game. Hopefully it's gonna be a better game than the first time they met each other back in October. Because that one, I ain't gonna lie, Arsenal was the much better team. It was dead. And I did predict, pretty sure I did predict Arsenal to win against PSG. Could have been wrong. I think I did. Just because I wasn't super convinced with PSG, but PSG have turned, they changed my mind, and I think this can go either way. Right now, though, I have a feeling I don't know if Arsenal's gonna win this. There's something in me that tells me maybe this could be a 1-1. But then again, you know what? I'm gonna say 2-1 Arsenal. That's what I'm gonna say. Maybe Arsenal do win this. 2-1 Arsenal. But I think, don't get twisted, in Paris next week, it's gonna be interesting. But Arsenal need to, like, what they need to do is what they did against Real Madrid. Make sure, like, the opportunities that they get on the set pieces, boom, take them opportunities, score them goals, score them chances. Make sure you do that. And then suddenly you can see yourself 3-1, 3-0 up. I don't think that will be the case, but I'm just saying, try to go for that, and make sure, keep a clean sheet. At least make sure you kind of do that. I'm going to say 2-1, though. 2-1. I'm leaning a bit more towards 2-1 Arsenal win. But I think, depending on how this game goes, anything can happen in Paris. But let me know your score prediction in the chat. And if you're watching this on the replay, also let me know in the comment section. Rasa Stocks, pick up to users. Who do you see winning the champions name? I mean, I still am going to say Inter. I still am going to believe. Even though Inter has disappointed me, and we will move on to talking about Barcelona versus Inter. Inter is an interesting team. Get the likes up, by the way, people, as we move on to the Barca into the game. So Barcelona, I think for maybe a lot of people, maybe Barcelona, I'm not going to say are clear favorites, but marginal favorites, maybe. Just because of how, like, convincing they've been overall this season. I completely, I hear it. I still am not fully buying it, but they definitely, the way they came, were playing off the park against Real Madrid. But to be fair, it's derby, like, and Real Madrid they've been having, Barcelona have been having Real Madrid's number this entire season, in the same way that AC Milan has been having Inter's number this entire season. Although Inter has been, obviously the past 2 seasons much better than in Milan. Especially Milan has completely dropped off this season. Poor, not even going to get, like, not even Conference League football. Like, that's how bad they have been looking, So, and with Inter losing back-to-back games now to both Bologna, Milan, Roma, losing 2 trophies to their city rivals in Milan, Supercoppa Italia, Coppa d'Italia, very poor. And now, as things stands right now, looks to be probably losing the league title as well to a Napoli, who's been having just 1 game to play a week. The only thing Inter really has to play for right now, unless Napoli suddenly fumbles, which I pray and hope, but I ain't gonna lie, I think it might be not. I think I might just need to completely throw in the towel and say it might be Napoli. The way that McTominay at this point, I did tell y'all we should have got more money. I told y'all. I told you. People were laughing at me when I said we should get at least 45 million, 40 to 45 million for Scott McTominay. People said no, we should get 20 million. I said no. Why do we have to? We paid 55 million plus 5 million for a Mason Mount who had 1 year left of his contract. I know not everybody's as dumb as we are. I know Man not is dumb as a piece of bread, but still, why didn't we scam somebody? And people like he could actually make sure that Napoli wins a Scudetto, Serie A, and he's been a key figure to do that. I'm sorry, we should have got more money. That definitely is not anything for me to be, you know, naive about by any means. You know, either way, what I'm trying to say is Inter in the league and Inter, especially in the Champions League, two different teams. Two different teams. 100%. I think, yep, Bayern didn't make it easy, could have slipped, but still controlled, still defensively resolute. 100%. 100%. So, and I think with Barca, with that dang high line, I feel like I'm gonna say we can fancy our chances. And I like that the second leg is at San Siro. So I'm still gonna believe that Inter will go through. Make sure though, you do not make any dumb mistakes. Dumfries is not back, which is lovely to see. DeMarco, you gotta come on, broski. Thuram, who was rumored to be out for a while due to muscle injury. I mean, he was not available for the last two games, if I remember correctly. Biga Travelli, hope you're doing well. Come on, you PSG. Woohoo! What I'm saying is we have some players back, which is nice to see for Inter. So I'm gonna hope and believe that Inter can still get the job done. But don't make any mistakes. Be defensively resolute, which we have seen. Just because Inter has done pretty bad domestically doesn't mean that you have to replicate that same form into the Champions League as well. So I think out of all of the four teams, Inter is probably more so the underdogs. Because I don't think really that many people are speaking about Inter being a force to be reckoned with. You know, it's only about what, 2 seasons ago where Inter did reach the final. Yes, lost to a Man City 1-0. Remember, because Rodri was brilliant. But to be fair, Inter was cooking. Unfortunately, Lukaku and Lautaro Martinez left their shooting boots at home. That's the reason why Inter did not win that Champions League, which they should have won. They were the better team. But that's, you know what? The game is the game. Somebody showed up, Inter didn't show up. But Inano was really good. Sad how he's a shell of himself from the Inter days and the Ajax days. But what can we do? What can we do? Either way, and with Barcelona on the other side, of course, what looks to be potentially winning their league. And did Barcelona also win the other? Wait, does Barcelona have a double now? Technically, they can still win. They can win a treble. Yeah, Inter's treble is out of the equation. I'm also wondering, can PSG also still win a treble? I don't know if PSG won, if they or maybe. No, they won the league, so PSG can just kind of chill right now. They can just focus on the Champions League. But with Barcelona, yeah, Barcelona could win a quad. Yep, they can. I pray and hope. The thing is, though, we've always seen them with Luis Enrique win like a 6-2. But we've seen that, legit. But hopefully that ain't gonna be the case. I'm just saying, All I'm saying, people, is do not sleep on Inter. But I do have to give some credits to Barcelona. I know I've been a little bit like, nah, I think people are hyping them up a bit too much because they were cruising at the beginning, and then it looked like they kind of were dropping off. It looked like Real Madrid was a bit further ahead in the league, and how Barcelona was kind of in some time, a period couple of months ago where they were dropping points left and right to teams that they really had no business losing to or drawing to, but they picked up momentum and they're looking good. Lamine Yamal, is there anything else to say? Pedri, props, Rafinha, cooking. You know, they got youngsters that don't really play like youngsters; they play like proper men, and and then you have a little bit sprinkled with some maturity, some, you know, people that kind of been here, done that for a couple of years. Frankie de Jong, right? Lewandowski, of course, even though Lewandowski's injury is still a big presence. Chesney, brother, retired. He literally retired. And Barcelona was like, yo, broski, Ter Stegen is now injured. We need something. We need somebody. He comes in, somebody was favored ahead of him, wasn't really playing games, and now suddenly he's playing games. And to be fair, it's been pretty solid. Been some howlers here and there in the Champions League, a little bit, but overall, been pretty good. Been pretty good. 100%. So you gotta just put your hands up and say, you know what? Wow. And then you have, of course, Casper, big up. Yeah, you gotta shout them out. Shout out in Nico Martinez, elite this season. Yep, good point, good point. 100%. There's better players that deserve the roses. Better players. We know the usuals, but there are players in general. And the one that's orchestrating all of it is the Hansi Flick, who, I can't believe that I was saying this, but when we were, when before he became the Barcelona manager, was linked away from, obviously, of course, he left Bayern, and I was thinking, nah. Like there was some people saying that we should get him to Man United. I said, nah, I want the Gaussman. And now I'm like, okay, just because it didn't fully work out maybe for Germany doesn't mean he's a bad coach. He's not a bad coach. He's a good coach. Wonderful. Amazing. Freaking hell. What he did with that Bayern team back in the COVID season. Did they not win a 6-2 plus? Well, pretty sure they did. With the continue on loan, I believe, where they smacked up Barca as well to get into it. Also, let's not forget, Lewandowski should have gotten himself his Ballon d'Or. Completely missed out, and which was a disgraceful decision. Even though they couldn't have the ceremony, they still should have given that to him. They could have had, y'all could have had the ceremony digitally. Could you not? Virtual ceremony? Come on. They could have done something. They could have just sent it to him and said, here it is. I don't know. I still feel like they could have done something, or at least maybe given that to him that season where Messi won it, in my humble opinion. But you know what? It's been a few years now. Let it go. Let it go. But yeah, I mean, Hansi Flick, I put my hands up and say, I don't know what I was saying. I'm you know what? I think it was, I might have potentially bumped my head. Yeah, I think that's what happened. I think maybe when I was like, laying in bed, I was looking at my phone. I think I dropped my phone so hard that I hurt my head and I couldn't really fully understand why I was saying these things about Hansi Flick. So we're going to blame it on me just having a proper concussion because I just couldn't understand why I was saying these wild, weird takes on Hansi Flick because it's a brilliant, brilliant man. And I can even admit that now. I can. I still am not a big fan of Luis Enrique, though. I'm sorry. But to be fair with PSG, the team, what he's been doing this season, it's been good. So even I can put my hands up and be like, you know what, Luis Enrique, If you end up helping PSG win the Champions League after having your best player leave the season after, yeah, I might need to be like, you know what, I apologize. I apologize. But until then, we will see. We will see. Let me read some comments. It's about 30 minutes until the game starts. Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited. I don't think Inter will have enough confidence, but their counter-attack style does suit the Barca. I'm telling you, Mohamed says, as Barca fan, I'm very worried about tomorrow with Dumfries and Turam. You look even better as a team. It's going to be difficult to beat you, to be honest. Exactly. Barca could win a quad. I did read that. Shout out to it. I did read that as well. Pavard missing the first leg, right? Yep, it looks to be that he landed pretty badly with his ankle. So I think so. I need to double check though the match. Let me see, Barcelona versus Inter preview. So let's look at that. We might as well before we make the prediction, because I think that's important. Do you think sport is a tool used to be rich to keep the peasants like us busy? Probably. And to be fair, I ain't gonna lie. If I didn't have sports, I would have probably find something else to be. It would be games. I played some gaming, some GTA and stuff. But sports, it's a big way for me to like, you know, fully be occupied and just kind of, I don't know, like you said, RS, just be busy, you know. And without sport, I don't know, man, it'll be boring. Without sport, I just remember the few like those 3 months where we didn't have any type of football because of like COVID, right? 5 years ago. That was horrible, you know. That was horrendous. And other stuff, you know. Of course, you were watching some other stuff regardless, but it just wasn't the same. I was like, oh my God, how am I going to survive? I survived. We're here 5 years later, but it was difficult. Those months without any football was difficult. Not like a little bit, not like nothing. No, that was bad. That was bad. Like legit. Okay, so for the Inter game, let's look at some like what should I say? The match preview. Players potentially. Okay, so for Barca, obviously still without Robert Lewandowski, uh, and they hope to have Alejandro Balde back in action, maybe. But if he fails to pass a fitness test, Gerard Martin should continue to, you know, be in his place alongside Inigo Martinez, Jules Conde, Pau Cubarsi. Mike Bernal and Marc Casado are both sidelines by knee problems. Chesney back in goal, we know that. Ferran Torres up front, Yamal, Rafinha, they've done well. I think what things stands right now, I think Thuram should be available. I think they might try to force him back. I think so. We might potentially do that. Cause I ain't gonna lie, Joaquin Correa is trash. Minitaremi, I was complete. I was wrong on him. When he was signed, I'm pretty sure it was like, was it not in the January window last year? Pretty sure. And you know, on a free transfer, and we heard, oh, he's gonna come in the summer. I just expected so much more. And I know he's much older. I think he's 37, if I'm not mistaken. I know Inter tend to, you know, they be happy. No, he's not 37. Why did I think he was 37? He's 32. Oh, I'm tripping. Why did I think he was 37? Oh, that's even worse. He's 32, he'll be 33, and I thought he was 37. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, he's been playing like he's 37 though. He definitely has been playing like he's 37. So yeah, he's not been good. Marko Nachovic, I ain't convinced of any of them. Pavard obviously sprained an ankle on Sunday, so yeah, he's gonna be in doubt. Don't even force it. If you maybe can see if he can come back for next week. I don't even think he will, But Dumfries and Zielinski both returned to action against Roma, though. And then Bastoni and Henrik Mkhitaryan served Serie A suspensions at the weekend, so they weren't playing, but they should be available for tomorrow's game. So potential starting lineups for both teams. For Barca, you have Szczesny, Koundé, Kubarsi, Martinez, Martin, De Jong, Pedri, Yamal, Olmo, Rafinha, Torres. And then for Inter, Sommer, Bisek, Acerbi, Bastoni, Dumfries, Barella, Chanalonglu, Mkhitaryan, Di Marco, Martinez, and Thuram. Looks like it can be. So with all that in mind, I'm gonna say, to be fair though, Barca could win. But I'm gonna say, Barca do tend to score a lot of goals. I'm gonna look at some of the other games Barca's had. Pick up Ravi. I'm gonna say 2-2. I'm gonna say 2-2. I really hope Inter could win, but I'm gonna say 2-2. Potentially even like maybe Barca could win. But I'm gonna say 2-2 that Inter potentially. The thing is though, Inter really don't really concede like that in the Champions League either. Like in the Champions League, Inter has conceded I think only about 3 or 4 goals in the entire Champions League campaign. So yeah, I feel Inter will sneak a win. Remember though, we are away. So I don't think we're going to sneak a win. 4-3 to Barca, in my opinion. That can happen. 100% that can be the case. And that will still be very open. I'm just going to say 2-2. I don't think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think it'll be 2-2. 4-3 could definitely happen. I 100% am taking a draw and leaving it all up at San Siro. Personally, I would love for us to just bop up Barcelona off the park and win 3-0. I would love that. I just don't see that happening. I'm going to then say 2-2. I just think that will be maybe a more plausible result. Yeah, away you will win 3-2. Really? I don't think so. I don't think so, actually. But I don't think it's going to be trashing. I think it'll be a lot more even. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, there you have it. Let me know more of your predictions down below for both of the teams. We will be definitely doing another prediction preview on the second leg, of course, next week as well. But yeah, I will be back tomorrow with 2 streams. So instead of me doing a reaction for just this game, I was thinking I'll do a live reaction, maybe potentially, for both this game and then the game tomorrow, because Thursday we have basically an official bank holiday in Norway where we kind of celebrate all the workers. It's May 1st. Yeah, it's a day off for everybody in Norway on May 1st. So I won't be working on Thursday. So therefore, I think I'll be able to do a quick live for both of the games. But either way, a Athletic Bilbao versus Man United preview live will happen before the Barcelona Inter game. And then we'll do a reaction for both of the first legs of the Champions League games, if that makes sense. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this little stream here. I enjoyed making it. Enjoy talking to you guys. Thank you for being so active in the chat. Like this video here on your way out. I hope PSG do something against Arsenal tonight. And I beg Inter win the Champions League. Forza Inter, Man United, please win the Europa League. That will make me very, very happy. Thank you, Eddie. Thank you, everybody that's been here. Take care, everybody. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out, Sophie South. Bye-bye.